Now you've probably seen a lot of those hairstyle tutorials on Instagram or on YouTube with guys that have this perfectly straight hair, and it just makes their life so much easier for styling them. Well, I personally feel like guys with wavy hair and curly hair are just left out of the picture to achieve those kind of hairstyles. Well, in today's video guys, I'll be giving you a very simple hairstyle tutorial to straighten and style curly or wavy hair. Let's get into it. As you can tell, this is my natural hair. I do not have straight hair. A lot of my videos I do style my hair before just so I can look a little better. And now one thing I will need to mention is the shorter your hair is, the easier it is for this tutorial. And mine is about 2 to 3 inches. Let's say so. Let's get started. The first thing you want to start off with is damp hair. Now that your hair is perfectly damp, this is an important note. The wetter your hair is before you start blow drying, the more control you're gonna have over it. The more you towel dry, you're still gonna have control, but a bit less. So go ahead and towel dry your hair as much as you want. I'm not gonna towel dry it too much. The second step is optional, and that is to use some sort of pre-styler. You can use a leave-in conditioner, which will prevent any frizz. So if you go outside and it's either rainy or windy, you won't get that poof in your hair. Or you can use a bit of your styling product to help you style your hair through the blow drying process. So what I'm basically gonna do is I'm gonna apply a very little bit of styling product in my hair just so I can get it to work a little better. Remember to emulsify it. Now properly mix it up so it disappears and just run it through. But you don't need to make it perfect right now because we are going to blow dry it. Hint, hint, that's the next step. Number 3, you're gonna need a couple of items. Number 1 is going to be a blow dryer. Now, you wanna get a specific blow dryer that has this attachment which sort of filters the air and puts more airflow into a single point. Second thing you want to need is a wide tooth comb. Now, the reason you want a wide tooth comb is it's going to be a lot more gentle on your hair rather than using a fine tooth comb, so it doesn't really pull and tug at your hair in the direction you want to go blow dry. You're going to comb your hair into your desired direction. Now, if you go in the direction that which your hair grows in, you're going to get the most amount of texture. If you go oppositely, you're going to get the most amount of volume. I'm going to go in the opposite direction, so I'm going to get the most amount of volume. Now when we start blow drying, there's going to be 2 phases in this process. The first phase, you're going to blow dry it with a low heat. So go ahead and get started. What you're going to do is grab your wide tooth comb and continue to brush the hair in the direction you combed it in. Section off the fringe is going to make your life a whole lot easier, and it's going to make straightening out the back and middle of your head a lot easier. And be sure to comb the fringe up and blow dry it from the front and from behind it. This is going to help you straighten it out later when we go into the second phase of blow drying. Second part of the blow drying tutorial, you're going to need a volume brush. This is going to help us straighten out the hair and add a little more volume to your hairstyle. And now an important note is for the last half of the blow drying process, you're going to go on a high heat just for a little bit so we can actually straighten out those hairs as best as possible. Same thing, you're going to brush it up from the front side and from the back side. This is going to straighten out your hair because it's going to get more of them in the same spot, and with the high heat it's going to do its absolute best to get every single hair as straight as possible. The hair are blow dry and we're almost done. It's actually looking pretty good, pretty straightened out for no straightener. You're going to actually continue blow drying your hair on a low setting, but this time with cold air. What this will do is it'll lock that hairstyle into place, because with hot air it opens up the hair follicle and the pores, and with cold air it's going to close it and lock it into place. So go ahead and do it, and don't be afraid to get closer to your hair with cold air. It's not going to burn or harm your hair. Drying with cold air, just make sure you continue in the same direction and fix up any little patches that are still wet, and just literally add the finishing touches to your hairstyle. And don't be afraid to get close, because cold air will not harm your hair whatsoever. Now that that is done, that brings us to the last tip part, and that is just to break it up with your hand and just style it in however you like. And if you want, you can finish it off with some sort of styling product for extra hold, shine, texture. I'm just using a Dove sculpting paste, just a simple medium hold matte finish. So what I'm going to do, get a very little bit of product, because I already have a little bit in my hair, not too much. I'm using a little more because my hair is a tad bit longer and I want to make sure it'll stay up. So emulsify. pretty much have it. I think this looks a lot better than in the beginning. It is a lot more straightened out now. If you do have really curly hair or really wavy hair, or even if it's not that curly or wavy but it is a little bit longer, this will get most of it tamed, especially if you build in a bit of a curve. Or if you really have to, you might need to use a flat iron or a straightener. But I feel like with this method, you'll get it as straight as possible without having a whole bunch of equipment. And one last thing is, after you're done putting in your styling product, you want to let it relax in your hair for about 15 to 20 minutes without you touching your hair. What this is going to do is going to allow it to settle and dry, because for that bit of time, your hair is going to look a little wet. But after, it's going to look pretty good. And if you're in a rush, what you can do is blow dry your hair with the cold setting just to dry out and activate that hairstyling product even faster. That's it for me today, guys. If you found this tutorial interesting, helpful, informative, drop a like. I want to know from you, how do you like to personally style your hair? If you guys are interested for more content from me, or you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, because I am always posting 3 videos per week. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.